Some places look amazing on Instagram, perfect lighting, perfect angles. But sometimes reality is even better. Here are 10 places that don't just meet expectations. They exceed them. These are destinations where photos don't fully capture the experience, the atmosphere, the scale, the feeling. You have to be there to understand it. Switzerland already looks unreal online. Photos of snow-covered mountains, crystal clear lakes, and perfect alpine villages make it seem almost too beautiful to be real. But in real life, the experience is on a completely different level. It's not just about how it looks, it's about how it feels to be there. The scale of the mountains is much bigger than you expect, surrounding you in every direction. The air feels cleaner and fresher, and there's a sense of calm that's hard to describe. There's also a kind of silence in the landscapes, especially in the Alps, that makes everything feel more immersive and almost surreal. Photos can capture the scenery, but they don't capture the atmosphere, the depth, or the feeling of standing in the middle of it. And that's what makes Switzerland so special in real life. Cappadocia looks surreal online, with images of hot air balloons floating above unusual rock formations and landscapes that seem almost from another planet. Photos of cave hotels, valleys, and soft sunrise light already make it look like a dream destination. But being there in person, especially at sunrise, feels completely different. As the sky slowly lights up, hundreds of balloons begin to rise at the same time, filling the horizon in every direction. It's not just what you see, but the movement, the silence, and the scale of the moment that make it feel unreal. The atmosphere is calm, almost magical, yet at the same time full of life. Photos can capture the scene, but they can't fully capture the feeling of standing there surrounded by it. It's one of those rare places that doesn't just live up to expectations, it actually looks even better in real life. Patagonia looks wild and dramatic on Instagram, with images of towering mountains, massive glaciers, and endless landscapes that already seem impressive on screen. But being there in person is something completely different. It's not just what you see, it's how it makes you feel. The scale of everything is much bigger than you expect, stretching far beyond what any photo can show. Standing in front of those mountains or walking through those open spaces, you start to feel small in the best possible way. The wind, the silence, and the sense of isolation create an atmosphere that feels powerful and almost overwhelming. There's a rawness to the environment that photos simply can't capture. Images can show the beauty, but they don't fully communicate the emotion, the scale, or the experience of being there. And that's what makes Patagonia unforgettable in real life. Kyoto looks beautiful on Instagram, with images of temples, bamboo forests, and traditional streets that seem perfectly preserved in time. From the famous Arashiyama bamboo grove to quiet shrines and historic neighborhoods, everything appears calm, aesthetic, and almost unreal in photos. But in real life, it feels even more immersive. It's not just about what you see, it's about the atmosphere that surrounds you. The sound of footsteps on stone paths, the quiet of temple grounds, and the small details in architecture and design all come together. There's a sense of stillness and balance that photos can't fully capture. Walking through Kyoto feels like stepping into another rhythm of life, slower and more intentional. It's not just a place you look at for a moment. It's a place you experience with all your senses, and that's what makes it so much more powerful in person. Norway's landscapes look calm and peaceful online, with images of fjords, mountains, and quiet villages that seem almost perfectly still. In photos, everything appears balanced and serene, like a postcard, but in real life, the experience feels much more powerful. The scale of the landscapes is hard to understand until you're actually there. Fjords stretch for miles, cliffs rise dramatically from the water, and mountains surround you in every direction. It doesn't just feel peaceful, it feels massive and almost overwhelming in the best way. There's also a sense of untouched nature. Many places feel remote, quiet, and far from modern noise, creating a deep connection with the environment. Photos can show the beauty, but they can't fully capture the depth, the silence, and the feeling of standing inside that landscape. It's a completely different level of nature, one that's only fully understood in real life. Petra looks impressive in photos, with its iconic facade carved into pink stone cliffs, already making it one of the most recognizable places in the world. But being there in person is something completely different. The experience begins long before you actually see Petra. Walking through the narrow canyon known as the Seek, surrounded by tall rock walls, builds a sense of anticipation with every step. Then suddenly the path opens, and the treasury appears in front of you. That first moment feels almost unreal. It's not just about the view, but the scale, the colors, and the silence of the space around you. Photos can capture the structure, but they can't recreate the feeling of discovering it that way. It's one of those rare places where the real experience is far more powerful than anything you've seen before. Iceland looks incredibly dramatic online, with photos of waterfalls, volcanic landscapes, glaciers, and black sand beaches that already seem unreal. But being there in person feels completely different. It's not just the visuals, it's the intensity of everything around you. The waterfalls are louder and more powerful than you expect. The landscapes feel endless, and the weather adds a constant sense of movement and unpredictability. Wind, mist, and changing light make every moment feel alive. The scale is also much bigger than it appears in photos. Standing in front of these landscapes, you realize how small you are compared to the environment. There's a raw, almost untouched feeling to Iceland that images can't fully capture. Photos show the beauty, but they don't capture the atmosphere, the energy, or the experience of being there. And that's what makes Iceland feel so unreal in real life. The northern lights look incredible online, with bright colors dancing across the night sky and photos that almost seem unreal. But in real life, the experience is completely different. It's not just about seeing the lights, it's about how they move. They shift, change shape, and flow across the sky in a way that feels almost alive. Sometimes they appear softly, like a glow in the distance. Other times, they suddenly intensify, filling the sky with color and motion. There's also a deep sense of silence and stillness around you, which makes the moment feel even more powerful. Photos can capture a single moment, but they can't show the movement, the unpredictability, or the feeling of watching it happen in real time. It's one of those rare experiences that goes beyond visuals, something you truly have to witness to understand. Rome looks historic online, with images of ancient ruins, grand monuments, and famous landmarks that already seem impressive on screen. But walking through the city in real life feels completely different. It's not just about seeing places like the Colosseum or the Roman Forum. It's about how the entire city feels. History isn't limited to a few attractions. It's everywhere. As you walk through narrow streets, pass old buildings, and turn unexpected corners, you constantly come across pieces of the past woven into everyday life. There's a texture to the city, in the stone, the architecture, and the atmosphere that photos can't fully capture. It feels less like visiting landmarks and more like stepping into a living, breathing timeline. And that's what makes Rome so much more powerful in real life. Photos don't really do it justice. No matter how good they look, images can capture colors, shapes, and moments, but they often miss what actually makes a place feel special. The size is usually much bigger than you expect. Landscapes feel wider, taller, and more overwhelming when you're standing right in front of them. There's also a sense of depth that photos flatten. In real life, you can see the layers, the distance, and the scale in a way that a screen simply can't reproduce. And then there's the silence, or sometimes the sound that surrounds you. Wind, water, or complete stillness adds another dimension to the experience. It's not just something you look at, it's something you feel. That's why some places can't be fully understood through photos alone. You have to be there, in that moment, to truly experience what makes them so powerful. Some places look great online, but others are experiences. And sometimes, the real world is better than anything you see on a screen. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you've been to any of these places, tell me your experience in the comments before you choose your next destination. And make sure it's worth the trip. I'll see you on the next video.